Want to know the latest and hottest music hitting the airwaves? Don't be left out. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast. It keeps you on the loop with everything you need to know from pop, rock, hip-hop, and the top 40. And we'll throw in news of your favorite artists, concert and tour dates, and so much more. Listen no further, because this is the gold standard in music podcast.
Thank you for listening to the GSMC Music Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Gaelika Brown, the music lover constantly seeking positive music. You know the routine. If you like what you hear, subscribe to us on your preferred podcast platform. And if you really like what you hear and you have the time, write a review. Those reviews really do help the show. So we sure enough appreciate it if you do that. And also follow us at GSMC_music on Twitter. Now, let's get into some music news. Ozzy Osburne has been battling Parkinson's disease for nearly a year. He says, "I had a bad fall and had to have surgery on my back, which screwed up all my nerves." The Black Sabbath frontman explained to Good Morning America host Robin Roberts. And I found out I have a mild form of PRKN2, which is a form of Parkinson's. His wife and manager Sharon said it's not a death sentence by any stretch of the imagination, but it does affect certain nerves in your body. It's like you have a good day, and then a really bad day. This hasn't stopped Ozzy from releasing new music and planning a tour. The medical examiner's office has determined the cause and manner of death of 21-year-old Jared A. Higgins, aka Juice WRLD. Juice died as a result of oxycodone and codeine toxicity, the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office revealed. The examiner's office also ruled Juice's death to be an accident. Juice was just 21 at the time of his death while traveling home to Chicago on a flight from LA during the early hours of December 8th. The Lucid Dreams artist suffered a seizure at the Midway International Airport. He was quickly transported to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead hours later. People, just because there's songs about Percocet and they've been talking about sipping lean and codeine for years now, so many people have died from it. Please, just take heed. We lost a 21-year-old. We've lost a few young folks off of this drug. All from older folks singing about the drug, and then the younger folks start singing about the drug too, and everyone's doing it and in a club talking about Percocet. No. Be careful, y'all. Be careful. All right, so that's my little soapbox. Jessica Simpson revealed to People magazine that she had been sexually abused as a kid and self-medicating with alcohol and pills. Here we go again with the pills. But hey, at least Jessica has lived to tell her story. So Simpson provided excerpts of her soon-to-be released memoir, Open Book, in this week's People magazine. She said therapy was challenging, but she allowed herself to feel the traumas she'd been through. The abuse began when she was 6 years old, when I shared a bed with the daughter of a family friend, she writes. It would start with tickling my bag and then go into things that were extremely uncomfortable. I was killing myself with all the drinking and pills, she writes. Jessica got sober in November 2017 and hasn't had a drink since. Giving up the alcohol was easy, she says. I was mad at the bottle and how it allowed me to stay complacent and numb. In the early 2000s, Jessica was known for her big voice and the reality TV show Newlyweds, which documented her 3-year marriage to Nick Lachey. In 2010, she found her soulmate in Eric Johnson. They married in 2014 and now have 3 kids. I love this quote, so let me get this right. Honesty is hard, but it's the most rewarding thing we have. And getting to the other side of fear is beautiful. I mean, that kind of goes back to the Juice WRLD story, because here we are. A young kid taking drugs. Obviously, there had to have been some sort of trauma, some challenges that he was facing to be so young and self-medicating. Because he'd been self-medicating for a while. He didn't just start when he was 21. For Jessica, she was self-medicating due to sexual abuse. And unfortunately, a lot of times it could be sexual abuse or physical abuse, any number of things. But this quote that she says, how honesty is hard, but it's the most rewarding thing we have. But the even more impactful part of this statement to me is getting to the other side of fear is beautiful. The self-medication comes from fear. It's fear. It's wanting to be numb. You don't want to be honest about what you're going through. You don't want to do the work to get through it. You just want to shut the door, turn off the lights, act like ain't nobody outside. There's nothing going on. Just hide. But getting to the other side of fear is beautiful. So I haven't really been following her since her Nick Lachey newlywed days, and I didn't realize that her clothing line, Jessica Simpson Collection, is $1 billion company. You go, girl. I'm dope that she found success outside of singing because her peers, Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, were dominating that space. But it's even doper to hear that her mental health and soul are in a healthy place right now. Now, Aerosmith is set to be honored at the 2020 Music Cares Person of the Year tribute event later this week and perform at the Grammys on Sunday. And in the midst of all that amazingness, their drummer of 50 years, Joey Kramer, is reportedly launching legal action against his bandmates for not extending him an invite to play. The band responded to the suit with a statement that reads, "Joey Kramer is our brother. His well-being is of paramount importance to us. However, he has not been emotionally and physically able to perform with the band by his own admission for the last 6 months. We have missed him and have encouraged him to rejoin us to play many times, but apparently he has not felt ready to do so. Joey has now waited until the last moment to accept our invitation, when we unfortunately have no time for necessary rehearsals during Grammys week. We would be doing a disservice to him, to ourselves, and to our fans to have him play without adequate time to prepare and rehearse. Compounding this, he chose to file a lawsuit on the Friday night of the Hollywood weekend preceding the Grammys with total disregard for what is our limited window to prepare to perform these important events. Given his decision, he is unfortunately unable to perform, but of course, we have invited him to be with us for both the Grammys and our Music Cares honor. We are bonded together by much more than our time on stage." Now, Joey claims he'd recovered from several injuries and that the band had unfairly blocked his return. He says, "This is not about money. I'm being deprived of the opportunity to be recognized along with my peers for our collective lifetime contributions to the music industry. Neither the Music Cares Persons of the Year Award nor the Grammys Lifetime Achievement Honors can be repeated." Now, this is a sad story. I mean, who knows what the truth is? Like Joey said, these are honors that can never be repeated. So, of course, he wants to perform. But on the other hand, if he hasn't been able to rehearse with the band, then I don't blame the band for wanting to be on point during these once-in-a-lifetime performances. As a performer and athlete, I'm all about rehearsing and practicing like you play. So hopefully Mr. Drummer Man can be content with sitting in the audience. Now, Selena Gomez's Rare album is #1 on Billboard's 200 chart. This is the third time she has received this ranking as a solo artist. Unlike many releases, Rare's was not enhanced by album sales generated from a concert ticket/album sale redemption offer. However, it did get an assist from sales of many merchandise/album bundles sold via Gomez's website, as well as a deluxe CD with bonus tracks available only at Target. Now, #2 on the new Billboard 200 is Roddy Ricch's Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial. The rapper's album continues to profit from the huge streaming popularity of its song The Box, which jumped to number 1 on the Hot 100 chart a week ago. Number 3 on the chart is Moneybagg Yo's Time Served. This gives him the highest charting album in his career. Now, the Jonas Brothers went on Ellen and teased a special Grammy performance. We have a very special performance lined up. Nick told DeGeneres, we don't want to give anything away, but we're playing the new song that just came out. And then we're doing something else, which I don't think anyone is going to expect. Now, I'm excited to see what the brothers have cooked up for us. This week's news segment definitely has me excited about the Grammys, more excited than I have been in a while. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue with more music news. That includes Bob Marley's birthday, some Halsey, and a bunch of stuff. We'll be back.
Always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Welcome back to the GSMC Music Podcast. I'm your host, Gaelika Brown. Let's jump right back into the music news because we got a lot of it, folks. One hotel in West Hollywood was filled with all kinds of Bob Marley vibes on Tuesday. Island Records celebrated the late legendary reggae artist's 75th birthday with a tribute performance by his grandson, Skip Marley. Primary Wave Music Publishing and MasterCard, who sponsored the event along with Amazon Music, transformed the hotel on Sunset Boulevard into the One Love Hotel, adding a jungle-like sign out front. Inside, tropical plants were set up around the lobby, and bartenders served fruity Exodus drinks named after Marley's 1977 album. And near the entrance, a pop-up store featured Marley's albums along with Marley-branded speakers, Bluetooth headphones, CBD body roll-ons, and clothing imprinted with Redemption in celebration of the 40th anniversary of Redemption's song. This February 6th, Marley would have turned 75 years old. The homies Halsey and Kelsey Berlini shared their friendship joy on stage for an upcoming episode of CMT's Crossroads. Although the Halsey and Berlini CMT Crossroads special doesn't premiere until March 25th at 10 p.m. Eastern Pacific Time on CMT, you can view a performance of Crossroads online. Now, Tekashi 6ix9ine is now more famously known for being a snitch rather than a rapper since testifying against his former 9 Trey Gangsta Blood members in exchange for a reduced sentence. His model girlfriend took on to Instagram Tuesday and defended her man while showing off a photo of him and her while he's in jail, where he is serving his 24-month sentence. The post reads, "They kidnapped you, they had sex with the mother of your child, they get caught on phones trying to kill you, and they're stealing millions of dollars from you. If you snitch for the rest of your life, people are going to try to kill you for being a rat, but if you don't snitch, you're doing 47 years in prison where they're going to kill you anyway because they were already talking about it." I guess, girl, way to stand by your man. Now, I'm one of the Eminem's original fans. I've been rocking with him from jump. I was excited about his surprise album, Music to be Murdered By, but man, 40-something M needs to stop regurgitating old beef in his lyrics. On the Anderson .Paak feature, Lock It Up, M calls out his former Shady Records signee, Joe Budden. Trying to save at Kroger, so why would I give an F about backstabbing Trader Joe for? Now, Budden says he's done with the beef. He says, we had our exchange, and it's over. In 2020, I can't harbor negativity toward not only one of the best rappers, but somebody who I'm not angry at. That's what we got to stop doing, Budden said. Now, their fallout dates back to 2017 when Joe shared his thoughts on Eminem's Revival album and fired back on his kamikaze track, Fall. He says the closest thing he's had to hits is smacking bitches. That's what M rapped. He is one of the best rappers. He comes up with some clever punchlines. Now, Budden later declared that he had been a better rapper than M the last 10 years. I've been better than you this entire effing decade, he said. I guess now that the decade is over, Budden is ready to leave the past in the past. Now, as if that Budden beef wasn't enough, M is still smacking on that stale, chewy beef with Machine Gun Kelly on the Young M.A. assisted Unaccommodating. He says, but when they ask me, is the war finished with MGK? Of course it is. I cleansed him of his mortal sins. I'm God and the Lord forgives, even the devil worshippers. I'm moving on. He also mentions MGK on Yaya featuring Royce the 5'9", Black Thought, Q-Tip, and Denon. Had the prenup ready, effed on her. Should have seen her belly. She barely was 3 months pregnant. Bitch had it. Gave me her baby. We named it Machine Gun Kelly. That wasn't as clever. And I don't know. I mean, you got Black Thought and Q-Tip, and you sit up here talking about MJK or MGK on a track. Come on. That's just... I mean, they're more legendary than you are as a rapper, so I think he could have been a little bit more tasteful. But Machine Gun Kelly posted on his socials, mad AF. I just stepped out a loud room to hear this bullshit. He tweeted along with the poop emoji. And the second post says, he's been rich and mad for 20 years straight. He wrote alongside a laughing and a trash can emojis. Now, I'm going to have to agree with young MGK. Why are you so mad? You are a legend. You made what was supposed to be a mature concept album about gun violence and sprinkled it with old beef. Move on. Grow up. Your peers have. Snoop Dogg ain't making diss records. He ain't making no gangsta albums. And dude was legit a Crip. Snoop grew up and is all about love now. Jay-Z and Nas ain't beefing with each other anymore. Jay-Z is dropping knowledge in his lyrics about generational wealth. So why are you dredging up old-ish? Including beef with Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon, come on now. Nick, it ain't nobody. Nick ain't in nobody's rap conversations. Nick is known for making major money moves. So why you messing with Nickelodeon Nick? Now, poor MGK. Used to look up to your old bitter behind, and now you made him a rival. Just like Kanye did with Drake. And Joe was signed to your label, dude. Now, at least he's being mature enough to go vegan and not bring beef into 2020. Is Amigos dropping their final album? Offset posted a pic of the three rappers with the caption, Culture 3 2020 Last Chapter. Obviously, they want folks speculating if that is the final Migos project or just the final album of the Culture series. I guess only time will tell. DJ Khaled and his wife Nicole Tuck have welcomed their second child, a baby boy. Khaled made the announcement on IG but didn't reveal the name. Alicia Keys' seventh studio album, Alicia, will be released worldwide on March 20th. She has revealed the artwork, while a pre-sale is set for January 24th in celebration of Alicia's birthday on January 25th. Keys has already released a trio of singles, including the Miguel-featured Show Me Love, Time Machine, and Underdog. The 15-time Grammy winner will also tour for the first time in 7 years with the Alicia World Tour. I used to mess with Alicia heavy. I even went to one of her first tours. I haven't really been following Grown Alicia, but I am proud of her success, and we'll check out those singles. Vampire Weekend and Bon Iver will be performing at 2 Iowa caucus concerts in support of presidential hopeful Bernie Sanders. Christina Milian and her boyfriend, French singer-songwriter Matt Pecora, welcomed a son on Monday. Taking to Instagram, Milian revealed the baby's name, Isaiah, along with a black and white photo of her son holding her finger. Congrats to the attractive couple for their healthy baby. I'm a fan of Christina as an actress more so than singer. I loved her in Be Cool with John Travolta and in Adorable Rock, his early days of acting. He had a little fro. He was adorable in that movie. And Bring It On, Fight to the Finish. Now, I loved the Bring It On series. Of course, the original with Gabrielle Union and Kirsten Dunst was the best. But Christina Milian's version was fun too. And I was digging the show Grandfathered with John Stamos before it got canceled. Anyway, I didn't know she was pregnant, and by a hottie at that. So yeah, congrats, girl. That wraps up our music news. When we return, we will get into music history with Ozzy Osburne and our Say What song lyrics.
Searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Music Podcast. I'm your host, Gaelika Brown. It's time for some music history. Ozzy Osburne was born John Michael Osborne. He began his professional career in the late 60s with his band Black Sabbath. The band, made unique by their slow, gloomy melodies and themes, released their self-titled album in 1970 and went on to release classic platinum records such as Paranoid and Master of Reality throughout the rest of the 70s. After the 1978 album Never Say Die, Osborne was fired from Black Sabbath, which led him to form his own solo project. Now managed by his wife Sharon, Ozzy formed his own band, the Blizzard of Oz. The group's first album, Blizzard of Oz, was released in September 1980 in the UK and early 1981 in the US. It peaked at number 21 in the US, continuing to sell for over 2 years and becoming a huge success. Diary of a Madman, which included the drug ode Flying High Again, charted at number 16 in the US and became another huge seller. Controversy came when he was accused of animal cruelty. During one performance, a bat was thrown on stage by a fan and Osborne bit its head off while supposedly thinking that it was fake. The show was canceled when he had to be rushed to the hospital for a rabies vaccination. Not long afterward, guitarist Randy Rhoads was killed in a bizarre plane accident, bringing the band's success to a screeching halt. Osborne fell into a deep depression shortly after losing his best friend. Osborne was freed from his contract with Jet Records and showed up drunk at an Epic Records meeting with 2 doves, one of which he freed and the other which he killed in the same manner as the bat. Osborne was signed to the label. The album Bark at the Moon led the singer to embark on a tour with Motley Crue. Although Bark at the Moon opened up to rave reviews, 1986's Ultimate Sin received rather harsh criticism. The album, containing the hit single Shot in the Dark, was regarded as Osborne's worst studio effort by numerous critics. But that didn't stop the album from being another smash hit. Also in 1986, Osborne was accused of encouraging suicide among listeners via use of subliminal messages in his Blizzard of Oz song, Suicide Solution, a song that he claimed was written in relation to the effects of alcohol abuse. Although the case was eventually dismissed, Osborne once again earned a feared reputation. His reputation improved with the 1987 Tribute, a live album recorded in 1981 that was dedicated to the memory of Randy Rhoads. Live and Loud was released in 1993 to commemorate Osbourne's career, and it was now assumed that the singer's glory days were over. Osbourne resurfaced in 1995 with Osmosis, which despite mixed reviews, sold 3 million copies within a year after its release. After the subsequent tour proved one of the best-selling of the summer, Osbourne created Ozfest, a tour package that featured himself along with many other metal bands. While there were only 2 performances in 1996, a live album was nonetheless released, simply titled The Ozfest. 1997's tour package, which included such metal acts as Pantera, Marilyn Manson, and a Black Sabbath reunion, which only Bill Ward was absent, was one of the most successful tours of 1997. That same year, Osbourne united the entire original lineup of Black Sabbath to record the live album Reunion, which was released in 1998. He also found time to duet alongside rapper Busta Rhymes for a remake of the Sabbath classic Iron Man, retitled This Means War, which was included on Rhymes' 1998 release Extinction Level Event, The Final World Front. Inspired by an episode of MTV's Cribs starring his family, Osbourne and the network's producers took a chance on creating a reality show based around the infamous singer. MTV followed his family around the house for several months at the end of 2001. The end result was The Osbournes, one of the most successful shows in the history of the network. In 2012, Ozzy reunited with most of the original Black Sabbath lineup to record an album of all new material that went back to the heaviness of their earliest days. The album 13 was released in 2013, and Ozzy toured with Sabbath for much of the year in support of it. The next year, focus returned to his solo work with the release of Memoirs of a Madman, a greatest hit style collection that offered standout tracks from almost every album in his body of solo work. Now, me personally first found out about Ozzy Osbourne because of Busta Rhymes, because of that track. I was a huge Busta Rhymes fan, had the album, heard the song, I'd heard of his name, but then I got familiar with his sound, and just like a few years later is when the Osbournes came out. It's like, what is this show? Started watching it, got hooked. That's how I fell in love with his family, and yeah. So thank you, Busta Rhymes and MTV, for introducing me to Ozzy. Now on to our Say What song lyrics. There are lyrics we grew up singing and never gave a second thought about what we were singing. But hindsight's 2020, especially with the Me Too and Time's Up movement. Also, culturally, we are more aware of prejudices, and as a society, we are trying to be more inclusive. So looking back at older lyrics can be a jaw-dropping and a humorous experience. So I got a recommendation for this Say What song lyric segment. If you have recommendations, tweet us at GSMC_music. Let's examine Extreme's 1990 More Than Words. Now, it sounds like a beautiful song about love, but is it? Let's get into it. Saying I love you is not the words I want to hear from you. It's not that I want you not to say, but if you only knew how easy it would be to show me how you feel. I wonder what he means by if you only knew how easy it would be to show me how you feel. Let's move on and see what he means. More than words is all you have to do to make it real. What does he mean by more than words? Let's keep reading. Then you wouldn't have to say that you love me, because I'd already know. What would you do if my heart was torn in two? More than words to show you feel that your love is real for me. What would you say if I took those words away? Then you couldn't make things new just by saying, I love you. Okay, now. So he ain't interested in hearing a woman say, I love you. Let's keep going. More than words. La-di-da, da-da-da, la-di-da, etc., with the la-di-das. Now I've tried to talk to you and make you understand. All you have to do is close your eyes and just reach out your hand and touch me. Oh, touch. You want to be touched, not loved. Let's continue. Hold me close. Don't ever let me go. More than words is all I ever needed you to show. Then you wouldn't have to say that you love me, 'cause I'd already know. All right, let's break this down. So, do you think he would be satisfied with a simple hug? Or is he trying to smash? Dude's trying to smash, right? He trying to smash. He don't want words. He don't want a hug. He wants you to show him how you feel through sex. Getting some is the sole purpose of this song. More than words is all I ever needed you to show me. Having sex with me, in other words, having sex with me is all I need in order to know how you feel about me. F them words. Let's get to grinding, baby. Now that's the real translation. Basically, it's let's get it on. Oh, baby. In so many words, that's what he's saying. More than words. That's what he's saying. Oh, yeah, as a kid, I really did think that was like this sweet, like, rock romantic song. Didn't know it was about sex. Now, if you have a say what song lyric, please tweet us at GSMC_music. And you just may hear the lyrics on the show. Now, I definitely appreciate your time. I thank you for listening to the GSMC Music Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. If you liked what you heard, subscribe to our podcast. And if you feel compelled, write a review. Until next time, I'm Gaelika Brown, the music lover constantly seeking positive music.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.